I mentioned before, this is not a fancy, overproduced cooking show. This is just Angela just trying to keep it real and authentic and share with you how we can make your 4th of July just an awesome one. So let's get started. I'm going to show you in some of the items that you're going to need to get started. The first thing I like to use is like a Dutch oven size pot. And the pot, it's actually more of just a size thing. It really can accommodate the brats that you are wanting to cook really well. The other thing is, when I'm choosing brats to make for this awesome succulent brat recipe, I like to just choose the regular unflavored brats. I mean, of course there's flavoring already in the brand of the brat, but I'm not looking for it to be Italian or have like a beer additive already in the flavoring. So we're just going to go ahead. I've got a pack here of 5, and I'm just going to take each brat and just set them in the bottom of the pot, of my Dutch oven pot here. Okay. Now, because I am touching raw meat, you do need to be very careful and always stay very sanitized when you're working with things. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick wash on my hands, and I'll be right back. So we're going to take 1 extra large Vidalia onion, and I love the Vidalias just because they just tend to be a little bit sweeter of an onion overall. And I love having a great knife. It doesn't matter what brand the knife is. I know there's a lot of gourmet brands of knives and very successful chefs who've developed their own knives, but you just want a good weighted knife that feels good in your hand. That's one very, very sound cooking tip that I can actually share. All the knives I use, it always seems to be this humongous knife. And all I'm doing, whoops, is just peeling the skin off real quick. I'm going to do this as quickly as I can. And you really, with this, is you really don't need to worry about being really fancy with the cuts of the onion and peeling it, just because you're not really eating the onion. We're using the onion for flavoring. So now I have my onion, and I'm just going to do some quick large chop chunks on here. Just doom, doom, doom. Okay, so I cut it like this, 4s, boom. So go ahead and put that in your brats. Just lay them over the top of the brats. No big deal. The other thing that you may want to start doing is, seeing how you have touched all these onions already, is to get started with your condiments. You know, this is a great time. You've already been working with the onions. Stick with the Vidalia onion. It is a great easy topping for your brat. And I've got 2 recipes that I'm going to share with you as far as toppings at the end of the brat, because in Wisconsin, brats are pretty much a staple. But you know, I watch a lot of ESPN, not necessarily by choice, but because my husband watches a lot of it, and I know for a long time there they had quite a few commercials about a certain brand of brat, and a Belushi was doing the commercials, and they were hilarious. You don't want to poke the brat, you don't want to overcook the brat, and as funny as those commercials seem to me, it is so true, because this is a sausage, and the whole idea is to contain all the juices as much as you can within the brat. So that's why I think that this recipe is really good. So what I'm doing now is I am doing a dice on my brats, and this is not like a large dice. This is not. I want it to be small enough, and I'll show you in a second. Just because this is me just working in my own kitchen here. So you can see these are just a nice small chunk of onion. I'll set these aside in a bowl. So let's just keep continuing on here with going back to where we started with our brats in the bottom of our Dutch oven pan here. So we got our brats and we got our onions. The next thing that you're going to add to this recipe is butter. What the butter does is it just adds a little bit more fat as you are cooking. I know you're like, add more fat to brats. That's all brats are, is fat. I know. The most important ingredient that you're going to want to add to this recipe is the beer. Now you're probably wondering why I am not showing this demonstration over my stove. Well, because you just add all of these things in, and then this is just going to become like a stew that you're making, a brine, something of that nature. I don't know. I'm not a professional cook. I just know how to make really good brats. I'm incorporating basically about 2.5 beers. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add some Worcestershire sauce. My suggestion is shake it in till the solution turns brown. And so we put in a little bit of the Worcestershire sauce, and now we're going to put in some soy sauce. Now we're adding quite a bit of salt to this too, but I promise you it is absolutely delicious. So once we've added that in, I'm going to give it a quick little stir. Just the solution. I'm going to give it just a quick little stir just because I want to see how brown. Oh, perfect. It really wasn't much. I mean, if anything, I know I did a lot of this by eye, but it, you know, maybe 2 tablespoons each of the ingredients is all you really need. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this around and put this on my cook's top. The whole idea with this is we're going to just be cooking the brats all the way through in this solution, and then we finish them on the grill so that they get that little snap of the skin that I was talking about that makes them so perfect. All right, so I'm going to get these on the stove and bring this up to I went like a rolling simmer. I cooked all of these brats over medium heat, and what's happening is they started floating to the top, which is awesome. That's what you will see happening. The other thing is that you're going to notice when you're cooking the brats is that they look like they're expanding within the casings, and they look very like they're ready to bust. And that's good, but just kind of keep in mind the meat inside of here is still raw, and so you're using this boiling method to cook through to the brats. Now I would recommend, how you know that this is completed is by the color of the onion. If the onion starts to look transparent, then you know that inside of the brats that they're cooked as well. So like this one, for example, I should really use a tong instead of this. Can you see how that's still kind of white and some of it's transparent? I don't know if you can tell, but anyway, gotta fix the camera. But anyway, so once you see that some of your onion slices and stuff like that have more of the transparency, then you know the insides of your brats are done. This is a really good time for you to go and stoke up your grill, especially if you have a gas grill. We're not really using this to have a whole oven effect out of the grill. We're just going to hit that on the grill just to give it a little hiss, hiss, kiss, kiss, and then eat. Well, welcome back. I'm here to share with you the brat sauce recipe that I talked about earlier. I got all the brats off the grill, and we just have this, look at their juice, they're just oozing out of them. They have a nice grill mark on the sides of them, and they are ready to go. So let's get started with this brat sauce that I keep talking about. This really came from a family recipe. I'm just going to make a really small batch of it because I don't plan on eating a ton of brats this afternoon in my demo. So I'm going to start it with 2 heaping teaspoons of mayonnaise. Now I like, oops, well that worked out kind of weird. I have, you know, we're keeping it real. So what I do is I add a little generic common yellow mustard to the mix, and with my mayonnaise. You can see, just show you like the color, it has just regular mayonnaise consistency, And then all you do now is, remember how I was showing you how I wanted the small diced onions? You just add those small diced onions in. And that's it. That is brat sauce. I know it doesn't sound really complicated, but just these 3 simple ingredients mixed together actually taste quite delicious on a brat. So I'm going to show you the proper and classic way of preparing a brat, okay? So you're going to want to go to the bakery and get the freshest buns that they made that day, because they're just the best. You know, you go through all this work of making an awesome juicy brat, you're going to want to start out with the best. So I'm going to go ahead and load up my buns. It sounds funny, but it is what it is. Alright, so I got my brats in my buns. Okay, now the first topping that you are going to want for a proper brat is you are going to want to have some sauerkraut. So I'm going to use my tongs here, and I'm going to load up some sauerkraut on one. You don't really need a ton, but you do need some. And then the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your diced onions that we talked about before, and you can put those on top. And then, this is really what makes them special. I am just having problems with mustard right now. Is a stone ground mustard, okay? You're gonna want to get one that has like a little bit of heat, little spice to it, and it just really just melds all the flavors. So we have our stone ground mustard. We have our stone ground mustard, sauerkraut, and onion on one, and then we put our brat sauce on the other. And that's it. You don't put anything else on here other than the brat sauce, because you really don't need it. So then the only thing that I recommend is, well, this is the best beverage. Now, a local beer, some brats, maybe some baked beans or some potato salad like I got over here in the side to go with your creation today, and then that fabulous peach cobbler for dessert. Thank you so much, and I hope you have an awesome 4th of July holiday this weekend, and to the next gathering that you have. Cheers. That was good. Talking about this the whole time, I was starving Marvin. This is so good. Alright, thanks.